Readings for February 22nd. We looking on story of Absalom tries to usurp um, his father, usurp the kingdom from his father. And 2 Samuel chapter 15, verse 1 to 11 is what we're going to be looking at. 2 Samuel chapter 15, verse 1 to 11, as we look in the devotional book, the Bible in 366 days for men of faith. Angus Buchan is the one that put this together, and he entitles this one, he gives it a theme of honor appearance. Now we read in from the New Living Translation, 2 Samuel chapter 15, verse 1 to 11. After this, Absalom bought a chariot and horses, and he hired 50 bodyguards to run ahead of him. He got up early every morning and went out to the gate of the city. When people brought a case to the king for judgment, Absalom would ask where in Israel they were from, and they would tell him their tribe. Then Absalom would say, "You've really got a strong case here. It's too bad the king doesn't have anyone to hear it. I wish I were the judge. Then everyone could bring their cases to me for judgment, and I would give them justice." When people tried to bow before him, Absalom wouldn't let them. Instead, he took them by the hand and kissed them. Absalom did this with everyone who came to the king for judgment, and so he stole the hearts of all the people of Israel. After 4 years, Absalom said to the king, "Let me go to Hebron to offer a sacrifice to the Lord and fulfill a vow I had made to him. For a while your servant was at Gesher in Aram. I promised to sacrifice to the Lord in Hebron if he would bring me back to Jerusalem." "All right," the king told him, "go and fulfill your vow." So Absalom went to Hebron. But while he was there, he sent secret messengers to all the tribes of Israel to stir up a rebellion against the king. "As soon as you hear the ram's horn," his message read, "you are to say, 'Absalom has been crowned king in Hebron.' He took 1,200 men from Jerusalem with him as guests, but they knew nothing of his intentions." You know, you could be right there beside some person, and they could be plotting your death. They could be plotting evil against you, and you don't even know. This is how life is these days. But I don't think that it should always be that way. And this is what I get from this passage. Not digging deep in there, see what Absalom was doing, but he was literally deceiving the father all the time for all these so much years, going out intercepting people when they come to bring sacrifices or bring the complaints. Um, he would intervene. It remind me of Eli's sons who would intervene and try to get the best of the meat even before it was sacrificed. And he told the king, I need to go and offer sacrifice. I had promised that I would go and do it here in Hebron. And he left and says he took 200 men from Jerusalem with him as guests, but he knew nothing of his intention. And that means we're going to continue looking at this. But we have to ask the Lord for discernment because he was right there in the household and the son was trying to rebel against him, was trying to usurp him. So um, we just have to be on our guard and trust in the Lord. Ask the Lord to give you that discernment so you can see what's happening and trust that He will follow um, what He says in His Word, that nothing will harm you. That though you walk through the shadow of the valley of the shadow of death, you will fear no evil. These are great promises. And remember, um, that he is always going to be there. Always going to be there. And Absalom, it breaks your heart when you read these stories, you know, rebelling against your father, dishonoring the parents, trying to get the power, and you the way how you get it the same way because you try to get the, the to be the ruler, to be the king by some false and deceitful ways. It means you have to always continue in this way to survive. And we know that it did not happen. So this is another one. And again, these 2 days, the one is that have been more dear than encouragement. The one have been dear um, for us to watch and learn. Watch and learn. Absalom doing tricks. Absalom being divisive. Absalom being I can't remember um, that word, but just making sure that he was doing dishonest things, but still looking great. And that has no future. And if you're trying to be like that, then it means that you're disturbing the peace. And Jesus said in John chapter 5, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God. And therefore, you see David at the beginning pacify, trying to work with Absalom because he loved him. But Absalom he was just too much. He was ready. And don't we have relatives like that? Don't we have people in our flock like that? Yes, we do. Uh, so there's no escaping. Yes, we do have people in the flock like that. But we pray to God that He would just take that challenging situation and bring something good out of it. And this is where we stand, is where we look on the situation and pray that the Lord will send good to outweigh the bad. But remember for today that God is on your side. Blessings.